The melting of polar ice is an environmental issue that has preoccupied scientists for decades. This phenomenon implies a long-term increase in global temperatures, largely attributed to human-induced changes in the Earth's climate, particularly the increased release of greenhouse gases. This rise in temperature leads to the melting of polar ice, causing significant shifts in the Earth's water cycle and global sea levels. Historically, the Earth's poles have always been glaciated due to the extreme low temperatures. Starting from the mid-20th century, scientists began reporting noticeable decreases in the size of polar ice caps, reflective of a warming world. In 1979, routine satellite monitoring began, providing concrete data, showing the dramatic ice shrinkage over the ensuing years. This reduction in ice volume, from both Greenland and Antarctica, has accelerated in the 21st century, particularly in the last decade. The significance of polar ice melts is manifold. These icy landscapes don't merely provide a habitat for numerous species, but they reflect back sunlight, thus helping maintain the Earth's temperature. When these ice caps melt, more of the sun's energy is absorbed by the oceans, instead of being reflected back out into space. This intensifies global warming, creating a feedback loop that hastens the ice melt. Construction of this environmental issue largely translates into negative consequences. First and foremost, it results in rising sea levels that produce disastrous outcomes for low-lying coastal areas around the world. According to recent estimates, global sea levels could rise between 10 and 32 inches, 26 and 81 centimeters by the end of the century, if current trends continue. This could lead to inundation of coastal cities, displacement of millions of people, and jeopardize freshwater supplies as saltwater infiltrates aquifers. A second negative consequence of polar ice melting is the detrimental impact on wildlife greatly dependent on icy habitats, like seals, penguins in the Antarctic, and polar bears in the Arctic. As the ice diminishes, so do the ecosystems that these species rely on, leading towards a potential loss of biodiversity. The melting of polar ice caps also affects global climate patterns. Cold, fresh water from the melting ice dilutes the salty ocean water, potentially disrupting ocean currents that move heat around our planet, an essential feature of the Earth's climate system. This could result in more severe weather events and changes in climate patterns affecting agriculture and ecosystems globally. While the ramifications of polar ice melting are primarily negative, there are some limited positive aspects as well, particularly from an economic standpoint. The receding ice is increasing accessibility to previously impossible-to-reach areas in the Arctic. This makes shipping lanes more accessible, and resources such as gas, oil, and minerals more available for extraction, creating new economic opportunities. However, such activity may compound environmental issues, and the short-term gains may not outweigh the long-term negative impacts. In conclusion, the onset and acceleration of polar ice melts are a vivid sign of our Earth's warming climate. With far-reaching detrimental effects ranging from global sea level rise, biodiversity loss, and disruption to global climate patterns, it presents an imminent call to action. We ought to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions drastically and transition towards sustainable lifestyles for the health of our planet. The few economic benefits derived from the melting of polar ice are significantly overshadowed by the vastly negative consequences. The real economic value lies in maintaining our planet's homeostasis to secure future generations.